My name is Vincent Harris. I stay at 835 Poplar Street, Stanley Road Tires. Well, I've been in the West End since I was a baby. I never was scared. Never was scared, because I grew up around here. And it have improved, I can tell you that.
My name is Deanna Shores. I think that there is strength in the notion of culture, being proud to be a part of something bigger than yourself. I would really say that it is easy to get lost in the things that are challenging us that we're seeing every day, and not just in the West End, we're seeing it all over. But I think the resilience, right, of the West End is being rooted in that history and that culture and that sense of pride.
My name is Laverne Summerlin. This is my 8th grade graduation class. And those nuns and those priests, priest housekeeper, black woman, black businessman running the bingo, with Catholics you gotta have bingo, so all of those people made us believe. They let us know, regardless of what all these other people in society said about black children, we believe in you. I'm finished.
My family, my mother and my brother and sister moved from Garland, Alabama to 910 Bar Street to live with my aunt when I was 6 months old. And that was the beginning of my Cincinnati story. I grew up in the West End before they destroyed all of the community, and we moved from Bar Street to the Laura Homes on John Street. It was a wonderful place to grow up.
I've been an entrepreneur, a business owner. I have Patricia Ann's House of Beauty on Lynn Street. I started on York and Lynn and moved down to Derrick Turnbull and Lynn. Next thing I know, we had to move out for them to do the new buildings and everything. But we need to have more business that we can run on Lynn Street. I think that if y'all know the West End, y'all should know we were a proud black folks that took care of each other.
My name is Thomas Penland, and I grew up in the West End. I have an original picture of the bike shop that's on Lynn Street, and right now it was a store, but before that it was a bike shop. His name was Mr. Crawford, and he fixed all the black kids' bikes in the neighborhood, and he didn't charge too much. Back then the bike ain't come assembled, so he assembled it, and he didn't come back the next day and have it ready for you. Mr. Crawford.
My name is Ernestine Hill, and my connection with the West End started in 1958 when I was born. My mother's mother lived in the West End for, 40 years before I was even born. And this is the only place I knew for a long, long time. It was wonderful. It was a well-knit community. We looked out for one another. If one didn't have, someone would come up with what they needed. Them were the days, we look forward to getting out and being around the people in our community. It was a time, and it was a special time, because we were just really finding out who we really were as a black people. I believe that growing up down here played a major part in who I developed into and became.
I am Shirley Ann White Colbert, and I've been a member of the West End for the last 85 years. I'm still in the West End. I was born and raised down in the bottom of 6th Street in the West End by my mother, Delia and Cass White. So from that I got all of my 5. So this is the first office we ever had in our home. That when the Housing Authority give us our first, Lar Homes Resident Council had its first office. President of the council, and Miss Lois Brown, she was the vice president. Got accomplished everything like the laundromat and everything else that we had that the Housing Authority helped us get.
My name is Marquisia Jones-Woods. Born and raised in the West End, still reside in the West End. Was the president of Lincoln Court for over 10 years. Run a dance studio in the West End as well. I look at me standing there saying, wow, new opportunities for my kids, better housing, for me and my family, better housing for my whole community, life-changing opportunities, more money poured into a community that was not getting anything. I seen jobs. I seen education, college for my kids. I seen scholarships along with comfort. So when I see that picture, I actually see me dreaming in that picture. I see me dreaming outside of the box I lived in my whole life. Literally a box. I literally lived in a box, and I saw me dreaming. I saw me almost being lifted up out of that.
My name is Angela Cook, and I've been a resident in the West End majority of all my life. I actually was the president over in Lincoln Court. I was the last person to move there. City West was a beautiful place to live. Marquisia Jones taught me a lot. That was how I became president. I told her I couldn't do it. And she told me it wasn't such thing as something you can't do. Everything I know they taught me, and I did it.
My name is Julia O'Neill. I am a resident of the West End. I came from Eller Street. There used to be a place in the West End, and then we moved up in the courts. I went to Taft School. I also went to St. Joseph, and I was a graduate of Taft, and also went to UC, and also I was a resident in the West End, lived in Parktown for a while. I was part of a lot of the community programs in the West End. My biggest memory of the West End is that I always remembered everybody there was always so concerned about the people that lived there.
I grew up in the West End. I lived in Parktown. My dad helped to start the APicture'sWorth in Cincinnati, which was on Lynn Street. And then I lived a lot of time at this library here in the West End and at the Regal Theater. I had 2 very strong, committed parents, and that they both sold into my life as an artist, as an entrepreneur, as someone trying to make a difference and actually to be self-sufficient. So currently I've come back to the West End to remodel the Regal Theater to be Cincinnati's African American and Multicultural Arts Center. So it's a $12 million project where we are actually not just going to be a hub just to show art and do performances, but actually to be a business hub in the arts. So we're going to teach people the business of arts, how to do other things that allow them to grow their mindset around careers in the arts and technology and entrepreneurship.
We went to the Regal, and it was almost like they should have had the red carpet out in the front. It was like these big lights, big light bulbs, and it was like, oh my God, what is this? There was a concession stand, and they had the best. When I say the best hot dogs, they definitely had the best buttered popcorn. I think when people go to the Regal, it was almost like you stepped outside of the West End, because we had our own movie theater. Looking at the Regal, I think someone should know that it was almost an escape from reality. And when they took a real big part of history.
My introduction to the West End came probably over 25 years ago. I have fond memories of really getting to know the community by walking around with my son. I remember watching the city change so much in the time that we spent here, and that was very fascinating to me, to watch it, some of the stuff come down. You began to see them tearing down some of the projects in different areas, and then all of a sudden, all of these very expensive homes being resurrected.
My name is Mildred M. Patterson, better known as Nuna, N-U-N-A. I am from the West End, born and raised, and I currently reside here. The West End is a bar. It's a rich place, then, now, in the future. And I say that the richness meaning it depends on if you have a job, if you're hustling on the street, even if you're selling drugs. It's a place that money will be made. Even the people that's in the community are people that are poor, but know how to bounce back from whatever things that, they may not have a lot of money, but the resilience of people, even to come together, of people that come together and take care of one another.
My name is Tarina Boyd, and I work in the West End. It's a lot of hidden talent from the adults to the children. You're in awe by the artists that you have, that the poetry that you have, the sports, the respect, the knowledge. You have so much history. You have people that's 80, almost going into the 90s years old, and they tell you stories, and then it's like a vivid. So instead of like seeing something bad, I see a community still loving it within itself.
Keelani Parks. I'm the branch manager of the West End Branch Library, but my father grew up in Lincoln Court when he was very young, so that's another connection. And then also my mother's hairdresser was located in the West End. Her business was torn down with the FC Stadium construction. And then I also had an aunt who lived at Stanley row houses, and a friend who lived on Dayton Street. Our branch is pretty small, but we're very active. We use every inch of this branch. And we have to be extremely creative. I think that is a reflection also of the West End. It's a reflection of our customers and their needs. So yeah, we make every little bit work.
My name is Brendan McConnell, and my connection to the West End Library is as a staff member. After school programs at this branch particularly, all the kids are super excited and willing to try new things.
I just feel like the West End represents to me such a time, an opportunity to transform yourself, to be reborn, and also be rooted in something that is historical and meaningful, and it's exciting.
So I work with the entrepreneurship program with the ROMAC, and we are focusing on helping, I am the teen artist that we're helping, but they're focusing on helping us teen artists learn more about how to sustain ourselves in business as entrepreneurs and artists.
And I joined the entrepreneur program with the Robert O'Neill Multicultural Arts Center. So we do different things around the city. So I might be working festivals, or we redid the Black Lives Matter mural downtown. For me, because I have really bad social anxiety, working with ROMAC, it gave me an opportunity to network and meet new people and get out my comfort zone. So walk up to people with flyers, explaining what we do, what our mission is, really helped me become who I am now. Like became more of a leader because I had to take the initiative to get stuff done. So that's like it helped me very much with the stepping out and communicating with people.
So many people got it in their heart to give back to the city, to this community, because of how they were raised in the West End.
I live in the suburbs now, but anytime I have the time, I drive around. I love sitting on the steps of the terminal and just reminiscing because of all the good times, all of the good times. I mean, we had so much. St. Joe used to have those Sunday night dances. The Regal, I mean, all these live famous entertainers. We lived on Clark Street. All we had to do was walk down the street. See some of the most famous people in the world. So, what does it mean to me? It's a place that is an integral part of who I am. And I try to emulate the belief that my teachers had in me.
Best thing about this area is we have a lot of good, positive history here. There is so much background in this area that needs to be passed on to generation. We are a people of legend and vision. I believe in our history and our legacy.